Welcome once again to our DCUO webcast. As normal, we have our design director, Kyle Hill.
Howdy.
Our intrepid creative director, Mr. Jens Andersen. You should put that comic down, Jens.
Sorry.
We're on the air. All right. And I'd like to introduce, we're very excited. This is Larry Liberty. Larry is taking over as our new executive producer for DC Universe Online. Say hi, Larry.
It's great to be here.
That is his actual name. That is not a special DC name either.
What's have you picked your forum name yet? What you're going to be?
Right now it's boring, but it will be...
That is it? Boring?
Probably
Boring?
going to be Captain Liberty.
Captain
Nice.
Liberty.
Yeah. Nice.
So Larry's main qualification is he's named Larry Liberty, and so we really wanted him on the team.
Secret identity pre-installed in
Boost
this
of
guy.
confidence there.
So
No, Larry's been around in the game business for a long time. I'm really excited to have him on the team. So welcome, Larry, and this is a great introduction to our community. So I wanted to start off. We obviously we just recently announced DLC 3.
the battle for Earth. Say it with echo and reverb, and it's even cooler.
All right, the battle for Earth. Quite honestly, this is our biggest DLC ever, and I'm really excited about it. But typically right before a DLC comes out, we also have a game update. So before we began talking about DLC 3, I wanted to really quickly let Kyle describe a little bit about the main feature that's in Game Update 10, which is coming up. That would be soon. Soon? We agree? Soon. Soon. Very soon.
So the biggest feature for Update 10 is a revamp to the matchmaking UI and the back end of the system. The two biggest features that you should be looking forward to is the ability now to pick any number of different instances that you want to queue for and queue for all of them, or you can leave one out if you don't like a particular instance, just don't queue for that one. And then also the system in the back end, it used to spin up the instance as soon as everybody had found a group. Now it'll only spin up the instance when everybody is ready, so you won't get stuck into a duo by yourself. You'll always have a partner in the beginning ready to go.
That's very cool. It's been tweaking on this interface for a while, and I think we've got because there's a lot that goes on in matchmaking and picking instances. It's a big part of the game, and I think it's good to really make it more intuitive and more powerful.
Definitely more intuitive.
Yeah.
Definitely more intuitive. I mean, we had a lot of things in the old UI that were very nested and hidden, and if you didn't know, as we were adding tiers to various things like alerts, you had to tab over, and a lot of things were kind of hidden from you, and now I think in the new system it's all very just organized, and you can filter
it. The
it.
raids is one tab, duos are one tab, so there's no more, if I want to do...
No more sub-tier screens and stuff.
Yeah, it's very cool, very cool. Game Update 10, that will be coming out next, and then soon after DLC 3 releases. Let's start off by Jens. Why don't you talk a little bit about the content that's coming with DLC 3.
All right, cool. Let me put down my comic here. So I think one of the coolest things you guys are going to want to know about is Earth powers, right? For sure. We have our third new power that's getting added to the game. It's a tanking set, so you'll be able to go into DPS role or a tank role. It's a new kind of tanking. Of course, you're going to be trying to soak up all the damage from your friends, and so they don't get killed. But how do you do that with an Earth tank? Well, you defer the damage. You're going to be summoning up all kinds of pets and automatons, and then as you use your geokinesis and seismic trees, you're going to be able to defer the damage coming into you and your friends and put it off onto your constructs. So there's a lot of really cool new mechanics and tactics that go involved with that. So actually, healing pets when you have an Earth tank in the house is really useful.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Because that's actually going to keep your tank and your group alive. So Earth powers are a lot of fun. Like I said, 2 trees, seismic, and geokinesis. So we'll get you some more information on those later.
Real quick, I saw a question come up about pets. A lot of work went into pets, fixing the pet issues as part of the work to get the tanking for DLC 3 up and running. So yes, a lot of the pet issues have been resolved.
Yep, and actually more bones in the pets now too. The Earth pets are actually humanoid in shape, so look for some more improvements to pets across the board as well in the future.
By bones, he means animation bones, so they
Yes.
move around more.
They're not just floating eyeballs
Yes.
anymore. They actually can animate and things like that. So that's really good. What else we got going on? We have some new content going into the game. South Gotham has gotten a facelift. Previously, we had some large group mobs or group Brainiac units running around there. You could go down, do a quest every day, and get a soda cooler.
It's very exciting.
Wow, fun stuff. So what we did was we actually took this to the next level. The battle for Earth is coming to a close. Brainiac's final push is here, and in Themyscira, the new raid, you're going to be taking on the Avatar of Magic. One thing I wanted to be clear about is we had 3 raids for tech, 3 raids for meta, and now we're introducing our first raid in Magic. Even though we're getting to the Avatar of Magic and reaching the climax for the Brainiac storyline in the first raid, it doesn't mean we won't be doing more Magic raids in the future. Much like the Fortress of Solitude, where we left the Avatar of Meta in the second one and then went on to Zod in the third, you're going to see something similar in the patterns for the raids with the Magic stuff. So that doesn't mean that they're going to be coming right on the heels of each other, but you will be seeing more Magic stuff in the future. But with this DLC, we have 2 raids. Themyscira 1, where you take on the Avatar of Magic, and then the big Brainiac finale, which takes place inside one of the bottles in South Gotham. You're going to be taking on the prime avatars themselves. Basically, an Avatar of Meta, an Avatar of Magic, an Avatar of Tech, all at once. And after that, you roll on to confront Brainiac himself. The actual Brainiac is making an appearance in this raid, so you're going to need to take him on in a final fight. In between those 2 things, well, there's a lot to do. This DLC is very accessible to everybody. It has a lot for everybody. Your Tier 1 folks, fresh 30s and people working on their first tier of gear, you're going to be dealing with the exterior of the bottles in South Gotham and also the duos that are inside the bottles in South Gotham. Outside South Gotham, you're going to see every Brainiac unit you've seen to date. Magic, Meta, and the new, Tech, Meta, and the new Magic ones are going to be making appearances spawning down in South Gotham as they're coming out of the bottles. You're going to be seeing those units building proto-avatars out in the streets. There's going to be avatars of Meta, Tech, and Magic proto-avatars running around in the streets. It's up to you to stop them from being built and make sure that they don't run rampant throughout the city. I think 9 of them can be up at any one time or something like that.
If you're really bad.
Yeah, if you're not keeping them down, there can be 9 of them active at any given time. So there's a lot of challenge to be had just in South Gotham in general. There's also the interior duos where you get to go in with a friend and find out what Brainiac's been doing inside these bottles the whole time that they've been erected since launch. Turns out he's assimilating all these people. He's trying to, well, I don't want to spoil too much, but he's doing some stuff in the bottle. The cool thing is we have a whole bunch of different maps for the duos, and each of those maps has a bunch of different objectives that are kind of interchangeable. So you really never know what you're going to be facing when you go into the bottle. And there's 3 different sub-bosses at the end of each bottle which offer different tactics too. So there's a lot of surprise and sort of, you know, as you're doing your dailies and things, you never really know what you're going to get when you go into these bottles. So there's some mystery there, so to speak. We also have an alert which takes place inside the Gotham courthouse, which has been bottled up. You know, Brainiac's, the civilians who are trapped in there have sort of been assimilated into this thing called the Union, and they've really latched on to their former lives. So you're actually going to see the bailiff and the judge and the prosecutor and the defense attorney, jurors that have been sort of locked inside this courthouse are going to be doing their sort of Brainiac versions of those roles they had in life. I think the jury fight is a lot of fun. You need to stack the jury by trying to get your jury members in the jury box while the Brainiac's trying to get his in there. Once the jury's assembled, then you have the fight with the bailiff. The fight with the judge is great too. He finds you in contempt of court. He'll put you in jail. He'll sentence you to community service where you have to run around and pick up all this stuff. And if you don't actually do that, then the rest of the team has to help you out in finishing that. So a lot of neat, fun things that have to do with the theme of the specific bottle that you're in. And then, of course, we talked about the raid that kind of caps it off. So there is a ton of stuff going on in DLC 3 for you guys to enjoy with the Battle for Earth. The storyline climaxes with a promise that Batman made, I think, at the end of the second movie we put out in the Fortress, where Lex betrays him and goes back in time. Well, he shows up at the end of the raid, and we're going to launch into a new chapter, future Batman versus future Lex Luthor. So look for that storyline to continue once the Battle for Earth wraps up. So there's a lot of exciting stuff going on there story-wise as well.
What about gear?
Yeah.
Gear. Let's talk about gear.
Everyone about gear.
Everybody's been asking what tier this stuff is going to be, speculating. And speaking of, actually, let me go back really quick and mention that the exterior stuff and the duos are for Tier 1 folks, or folks working on Tier 1. The alert is for Tier 2, and both of the raids are for folks that are already in Tier 3 gear, which means that we are introducing
Tier 4.
That's right, Tier 4. We got a whole new tier set of gear. So a lot of you saw the suit tubes that were in the Magic Wing a little prematurely, so I gather that you have figured out there are going to be some rewards going on here for that. Maybe some new styles to collect,
That wasn't
right?
premature. That was foreshadowing.
They were preparing.
Yes.
They were just getting ready.
Right, sure. You know, I can use thesaurus.com too. Come up with a lot of different words for premature. So anyway, Tier 4 gear coming to the game. I want to take some time and show you all the cool gear that the team has been working on for you guys. You know, the designers have set up some really cool new Tier 4 gear for you to chase. The artists have made some tremendously awesome styles that fit with the Themyscira and the Brainiac storyline. So let's get into that really quick. For the Themyscira raid, for the Tier 4 gear, you're going to be finding a couple of neat things. So what we did here was we took some cool themes. This is the bull armor. You can notice a bull motif with the horns on the head, the bull sigil on the chest there. It's very bulky gear as well. Let's take a look at the back of that, and you can kind of see that there's a bull motif on the cape that comes with it as well. So really cool armor there. That's just one of them. Then there's also the next one here. This is the lion armor. You can see that the helm has a mane built into it. We've got the lion motif on the chest. There's lions on the pauldrons and everything. I love the boots on this piece.
Look at the claws on that.
Yeah, the claws on the boots are really cool as well. Let's take a look at the back of that too. You can also see that there's kind of a lion emblem on there with the cape, and you get a better view of the mane going off the back here. This next one's really cool too. This is the ram gear. You can see kind of a different sort of horn style and motif going off the helmets there than from the bull, and then you can see the ram motif on the front as well. Let's look at the back of that one. Again, there's a ram sigil on the back. Now this is probably one of my favorite ones. I'm a little partial to this one. It's pretty cool. Let's check this out. It's the stag armor. A little hard to see in this shot right here, but you can kind of see that there's some antlers kind of coming off one of the shoulders, and then also some juxtaposition or a little asymmetry going on in the head there as well for one of the antlers. You can see it a little better from the back view. The antlers kind of coming off one pauldron. I think it's neat, that one pauldron it's coming off of too. Can you go back to the previous view? It actually, you can kind of see on that pauldron, well, kind of, that's a skull, a deer skull on that one pauldron on his right side there, which is pretty cool. All right, let's go to the next thing. This is the aggressive, what is it, this one called again? This is the Brainiac gear. You can get this one in, I believe, the Duos or South Gotham. I think it's the aggressive Invader, I think it's called. So this suit is a lot of Brainiac stuff. You can flip on the other side of that one. And there you go. So there's really cool like vents on the shoulders, on the back there. You can see almost like jet kind of exhaust ports coming out of there. So that's a really cool suit. You really are partial
to green. Yeah, I see green a lot. Is that,
well, I think the character artists were cringing as I was coming up with my palettes for these things. Here you can see the Amazonian Vanguard gear that you'll be getting too on Themyscira. You can go ahead and click on the back there. It's nice Grecian kind of stuff. There's some cool pauldrons and a little bit of a sort of a hoplite kind of look going on there. And then this is one of my favorites. So this is the astral armor that you get, the astral plane armor. It's Brainiac theme from the Avatar of Magic, actually, and you can see the back here. I'll give you another view of sort of the astral pattern. There's sort of stars and galaxies kind of embedded on that. We have a skin that we, I think, sell in the marketplace for that, and that's been incorporated into this armor here too. So there's a few other styles that I didn't show that are available, but these things, obviously the stag and the lion, the bull, and the ram stuff is going to be available to you with the new marks of war that we have going into the game. There's been some speculation on what the new marks are. So M-O-W, Mo. Get your Mo mark.
It beats the moms.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah. So you'll be going after those, and then for those of you starting out in the open world and doing the duos, some of those styles will be available for you to collect as well. So there's something really for everybody in that kind of at the end game for you to go collect.
A lot of stuff in a lot of pretty much something for anyone at any level, 30 above.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's a good set. Well, that's great. We'll be giving more details and talking about when the actual dates are going to be, as soon as that information is available. But things are wrapping up and looking good, and we're really excited about DLC 3. So look for that to be coming sooner after the next soon.
Wow, it's very...
Yeah, well, you got to know. Anyway, there's a couple things I wanted to talk about. We definitely had a lot of feedback on our Valentine's Day promotion. I know that the PS3 audience wants to participate in promotions like this, and we are working closely with SCEE and SCEA to figure out a way to make that happen. But in the meantime, we will still have these promotions, and we are looking for ways all the time to make sure that in the future that this will be something that all of our players can take part in. It's just the complications of working with the PlayStation Network store, their financial systems, and the approval timelines and pricing. It's a lot of coordination, and we're working on doing what we can on that. And since we have Larry here now, what I wanted to do is invite our online audience here to come up with a Larry question. What question would you like to ask Larry? And I'm sure it's going to be a good one. The look on Jens's face is amazing.
Well, I mean, the guy just got here, and you're just leading him into the slaughter chamber over here.
First one is, who is Larry?
Yeah, Larry is the new executive producer.
That's a good
I
question.
think I can answer that.
Yeah. Hey, well, if you would like to peruse some questions, I can still cover a couple more topics, or we can just
we'll look for
pause.
Larry can look for a question there, and
All right.
Yen.
Oh, he
can,
wants to know what comic I was reading. There you go. Larry, what comic was Jens reading?
The initials are SS.
Very
That's
good.
really tough.
I'd like to recommend it, actually.
Yeah.
Can I recommend it? It's really good.
Sure.
Okay,
go
this
ahead.
is a really good book they're doing right now. Read it. It's awesome. But make sure,
That is Suicide Squad for those that couldn't see.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah, quite good. For those that were late, I am the new executive producer on DCUO. Let me see what else. Larry, the Lantern.
Can we have fat, out-of-shape characters, Larry?
Ah,
That's an interesting question. Yeah.
actually.
Jim Lee doesn't draw fat, out of shape people. That's one of our issues.
Yeah, certainly not hero types.
Yeah, it's with on the villain side, they've always done a lot more exaggerated or less more portly bodies. Jim Lee likes his heroes and even his villains to really be quite ripped and muscular. And this is DC Universe Online, but we throw in as many choices as we can and stay within the artistic vision of DC Comics. What else we got here?
There was a question that people were asking I'd like to answer now, which was about inspired by characters. There are 2 new inspired by characters that are showing up to represent Earth in the character create. The hero will be Geoforce, and I want to see if anybody can tell me who they think the villain one would be. It's his sister. Let's see. Who comes up with what? I know you know. Terra! There you go. Who's the first?
Sky King 77.
Sky King 77, you rock. Good job.
Right.
Terra and Geoforce are our inspired bys for Earth.
Larry, where can I get
When can I get Angelic back?
It's already in the game.
It's definitely in the game.
It's in the game. It's dropping. Check the forums. I'm not going to spoil it for where it's dropping. So
I wish we were the 4 horsemen of Mardi Gras. That'd be awesome.
4 horsemen of something. Smooth.
Hero or villain? I have 1 villain and about 4 heroes, so I guess I'm more hero than villain. Someone was asking if I'm hero or villain. And PvP, I normally do PvE, but We're going to be doing a little more with PvP in the future. That's all I can say.
Oh, so you're a Care Bear.
Aw.
Show us their little picture on your
Yeah.
tummy. Come on.
Let's see the rainbow.
Hero for the win, yes. And
There's nothing more exciting than
how
watching
much
four
for the
men
DLC?
Stare at the
read the
screen.
TV.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
The DLC will be the same price. There was a question on pricing. It'll be the same price as the previous two.
Yeah,
And of course, if you're legendary, you get it.
yeah,
as
access to the DLC is always part of Legendary membership, and $9.99 US dollars, the various European currencies converted, and $999 station cash as well. All right.
Is this a screen thing going in?
Screen thing?
Background?
Yeah,
It is?
DLC 4?
DLC 3.
Sorry, DLC 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's neat. We should talk about that.
Oh, well,
yeah,
it's a
neat
nice
feature.
little feature.
Yeah. So you've been getting these background screens when you're buying the DLCs, or if you have a Legendary membership. You know, Lightning Strikes had the the Cosmic Treadmill Chamber, and Fight for the Light was on OA, looking at the power battery, and DLC 3 has a great view inside the bottle, one of the bottles where your character is sort of selected. So we're going to be giving you the option now of switching that character background, and you can kind of set it to whichever one you want, and whichever DLC you kind of preferred or gravitate to with your character, you'll be able to set that screen background and customize it. So, outstanding.
Good
Sweet.
stuff. All right, well, we're getting close to the
There's
end here.
one, let's see, do I read comics? And there was a second part of that. I do read comics. I started collecting comics back in the 80s. The Searcher Saga, actually, a Marvel comic was the first one that got me into it. But Dark Knight, back in, 86, got me into DC. So my favorite DC comics were Swamp Thing by Alan Moore. Dark Knight, of course, was great. And yeah, various Batman, so I'm more of a Batman Swamp Thing fan.
Good stuff. Well, Larry, will you, Larry, since now Larry is like basically kicked me upstairs or kicked me out the door, will you have me back someday to be on your show?
Yes, you're always welcome.
Is it the Larry Liberty Show?
It's now the Larry Liberty Show, Larry Liberty Live, late night. All right, well, again, thanks for joining us on the DCUO webcast. We'll be back again soon with more exciting stuff. Keep playing DCUO and let us know what you think in our forums and on Facebook. So thanks, and good night again, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks. Bye.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Sony.